Something amazing is gonna happen today. Something wonderful is gonna happen today. Now that's a song I wrote. And as I sing the song and I sing the words out loud, I've already changed my brain. I changed my presence. I changed my state. I changed this moment. Here's the thing. The words you speak are not just sounds floating in the air. They echo back into us, shaping how we feel, what we notice, and what we do next. This is why today I'm here to share a rule, a simple rule, that if you choose to use it, it could help train your brain for courage and for confidence. I call it the say it out loud rule. But let me first start by telling you a little bit about my voice journey. From the very start, our voice is tied to survival. It's tied to our identity. It's tied to life itself. And mine was tested the moment I entered this world. When I was born, my voice was taken away from me. And it took me 50 years to get it back. The umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck. No sound, no cry, no breath. They fought hard to bring me back. And while they did, here I am. Now, don't worry, I didn't stay silent for 50 years, okay? My friends and family can definitely confirm that. Although I was very outspoken, it was much later than life that I truly owned my own voice. I grew up in Lebanon during the Civil War. One of the earliest memories that I have is holding my mother's hand and running for shelter. The sound of the bombs in the distance, candlelight in the dark. And when the bombs got closer, everything stopped. Everything. Fear took the air out of the room. Pure silence. When I moved to Canada at the age of 15, silence took a different shape. It was no longer about safety. It was about belonging, about fitting in. And without realizing it, I gave away teeny bits of myself by staying quiet just to make others feel comfortable. But here's the thing. Here is the truth. Are you ready for the truth? We all do it. We all do it. We stay quiet in the classroom because raising your hand feels risky. While we hold back in meetings where silence feels a little safer than being rejected. And each time we do that, we give more of who we are to others. We don't keep it for ourselves. We lose it. We lose that very thing that makes us seen, heard, and remembered. So, I asked myself, why do we lose our voice in the first place? And how do we get it back? And that's when I turned to science. And here's what I learned. Your brain is wired by repetition. What you practice, you reinforce. What you avoid, you weaken. That's neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reinvent itself, to rewire itself. Here's how it works. Each thought sparks a feeling. Each feeling drives an action, and each action reinforces that thought. And each time that connection gets stronger. This is what actually the neuroscientist Donald Hebb explained decades ago, also known as Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together, wire together. But what does that really mean? Well, for one, neurons are nerves in the brain that communicate with electrochemical signals, forming a network that supports our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. And basically, after a while, on repeated firings of the neurons, we form a neural pathway in the brain. This is the foundation of, basically, biological foundation of memory and habit. Imagine neuron A and neuron B. They tend to fire together. They tend to activate together. For instance, when you think a thought and act on it, two neurons are firing. This is really what's happening every time we take action. And again, these repeated firings build the habits, build the memory. It's as simple as that. Now, here's the interesting part. Modern science shows us just how powerful this is when you engage your voice. A peer-reviewed study in 2012 done by Ozepko, Hurihan, and McLeod. It was actually published in the journal Memory. It showed that participants, listen carefully now, participants remembered information much better when they read it out loud compared to participants that read it silently. And this was also proven even when these participants were tested a week later. This is now known as the production effect. So, in other words, when you engage your voice, when you speak, what you're doing, you're engaging multiple regions of the brain: auditory, motor, emotional. This layering wires the signal much better. It becomes much stronger. And what that does, it encodes it deeply in the memory, particularly in the hippocampus, which is the brain system responsible for learning and memory. So far, so good? All right. Simple words, if you want to remember one thing, is that when you speak and when you engage your voice, you are helping your brain remember and believe the information more powerfully. What does that really mean for you and me? Well, for one, and I'm sure you're all thinking it already, be careful what you tell yourself, what you say to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Empower yourself, because your brain is listening. 2, if you practice showing up, speaking up, even when your voice is shaking, even when you're scared, you are rewiring your brain toward courage and toward confidence. And if your words are intentional, inspirational, impactful, you're not only wiring towards yourself, you are building towards contribution, toward good. And this is how powerful the say it out loud rule is. So instead of thinking something and keeping it as an idea in your head, say it out loud. Because when you do, It becomes a direction for your life. And next time you catch yourself in self-doubt, don't just think, I can do this. I got this. Say it out loud. I can do this. I got this. I know it might sound silly, but it's sticky. And you're helping your brain's attention and memory. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I had to learn this for myself. Years ago, I was just about to step on a stage in front of a large audience. What can I say? My anxiety was sky high. My thoughts and my inner critic were yelling, "You don't belong. You're going to make a fool out of yourself. People will leave the room." But what I did, I took a deep breath and I said out loud, "I can do this. I got this." And I stepped on that stage anyway. In that very moment, I was rewiring my brain, not for fear, but for confidence. Not for silence, but for presence. And by the way, it went great. No one booed. No one fainted. No one left the room. And my mom said I was amazing. And my mom doesn't lie, right? Moms don't lie. Now, you've probably recognized some of your own moments. Moments where you held back, not because you had nothing to say, it just felt easier. So let me ask you this. Where in your life are you holding back? And what if in that moment you used the say it out loud rule and said one word, one phrase, one truth out loud? You can change the course of your life. And you can also shape, most importantly, who you become. Think about that. Now that you know that your voice is power, it's presence, it's the most valuable tool and influential tool that you have, I challenge you to use it differently. Use it to build confidence. Use it to empower. Use it to inspire. Use it to make a big impact. We spend most of our life waiting for permission to speak when the only permission we ever needed was our own. I came into this world without a voice, and it took me decades to reclaim it. But you don't have to wait that long, because the life that you desire begins the moment you use your voice out loud. And here's my invitation. I'd like to end this talk by changing our state together. Not to any state. A state of positivity, a state of optimism, a state of expecting amazing and wonderful things to happen. Are you with me? Yes. Sounds like a good deal. All right. Now, I'd like you to all to stand up. Yep. Okay, we're going to change our state. Here it is. You said yes. All right. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to sing the first 2 lines. Okay? And then I'm going to cue you in. Then you're going to repeat, and we're going to sing together, all of us. Yay, there you are. Lovely faces. Thank you. Okay. If you don't want to sing, it's okay. You can say the words out loud. I think you figured that I was going to say that, right? Okay? So if you don't want to sing, you say the words out loud. But the most important part, whether you sing or you say the words, is that you're intentional. You are present and you mean those words. Are we ready? Yes. Okay. Loosen up the hands. There we go. Something amazing is happening today. Something wonderful is happening today. Something amazing is gonna happen today. Something wonderful is gonna happen today. Thank you. Thank you.